Yeah, last session, what we are saying? Control statements. So why do you need control statements? Why do you need control statements? Why do you need control statements? See, generally in any programming language, okay, the execution of program will be sequential, but we want to change the execution now. We want to change the execution of statements. It might depend on a condition. Depending on a condition, you might want to change the execution of statements, or sometimes what might happen, you might want to repeat the execution of statements. Might want until a specified condition is met. So due to that, you need the support of control statements. Okay, Java gives you rich support for writing your control statements. Yesterday we are seeing all the control statements. The different types of control statements are which one? Which are the different type of control statements generally classified? So the language gives you three kinds of control statements. What are they? First one is conditional or selectional. One more you saw, iteration or looping. Both mean same. Iteration or looping. Then other one is jump or branching. No? Jump or branching. Anything you can say. And we had completed conditional. Conditional. To do conditional now, what we are using? Which are the keywords supported for writing conditional control statements? If, else. This is one thing. Or second one is switch case. You can use these two. Understood? For writing this conditional statements, you can use if, else or switch case keywords. Now for iteration or looping, iteration means what? Executing a set of statements repeatedly until a termination condition is met. Okay, you can do this with the help of what? For, while, do while. Three things. Okay, here jump and branching we have to see today. We'll be seeing it. Here the Java is giving you 4 support. What are they? Break first we'll be seeing, then continue, the next return, go to. Go to keyword is not there in Java, it is only reserved. Okay, we'll see it, don't worry. How go to has been supported by Java, we'll see it very clearly. Okay, so we saw all these three. Yesterday in fact I covered these two. Okay, I covered these two. Today I'll talk little about for loop only again. Okay, I'll be talking about enhanced for loop, which was added in Java 1.5 version. Understood? I'll be talking about for loop only. I completed this, and you understood the support for looping what you got. If you want to loop now, these are the 3 support what you got. You can use anything. See, don't think there's huge difference between for, while, do while. And when scenario comes, you'll understand when to use for, when to use do while, when to use while. Scenario will only explain it to you. Just understand the flow of all this. Okay. Now, right now it might look same like what is when while is there, why should I use for? When for is there, why should I use while? Now you can't understand because these things can be understood only with plenty of examples only. Okay. But there's definitely a difference between for and while. Yes or no? In for what happens? You do the initialization in the beginning. Yes or no? You can do the initialization in the beginning, no? But for this one, initialization is done where? Outside for this one. So a lot of differences are there. More differences you can refer to the book. Which one? I am referring to complete reference. You can refer to that. Brilliant examples are there. Okay, just don't sit on coding with my examples. More examples are there. I just set the base. My intentions are different. I want you to take to the high level of programming, not just basics. But since you complain you can't code with the high level without the basics, I am covering the basics for you. Clear? So I'll be moving there actually. We have to develop your applications. We are not interested in learning. This is considered very silly here. What I am teaching is considered very silly, which any developer should know. Understood? So this is mandatory, but in spite of that, just for refreshing your knowledge of what C and all that, I am just doing this for you. Anyway, it will end within 2-3 days. It will end now. Next we have to get into oops only. Clear? Okay, I'll go with the for loop now. We'll be seeing the enhanced for loop today. Enhanced, or it is also called as for each loop. Okay, I'll start with that. Then we'll go with all the jump statements. Clear? Okay, shall I clear this now? Yesterday we have written all this. So I'll start off with for loop is of 2 types. Yesterday we saw the for loop. There are 2 types of for loop. One is the traditional one. Traditional for loop we say. The other would be enhanced for loop. So when traditional for loop is there from the beginning of Java 1.0, but enhanced for loop was introduced in Java, which version? 1.5 version. Why they added, slowly you'll understand later, but it was added in 1.5. This enhanced for loop is also known as for each loop. Sometimes they say for each loop. Sometimes. Enhanced for loop is also known as for each loop. Okay. I'll just compare the syntax, I'll compare, then we'll see the code now. Syntax for first one, which one? Traditional. Traditional for loop, it goes like this. For, you'll write, then you'll have the initialization done here. Yesterday I taught you all this. After initialization, what will you write? You write the test condition. Then you'll write what? Increment or decrement. Iteration. You'll write the iteration logic. Yes or no? It can be incrementation or it can be decrementation. This is how you write it. So this is how the syntax. Here it will have what? Statements. Or this is also called as, you can call this as statements, or you can also call it as body of for loop. Both are correct. It's a loop. It goes on looping until the condition is met. Understood? So this is traditional one. The second one, syntax now. Which one? First see the enhanced for loop syntax. A new for loop has been given to you. It was added in Java 1.5. Remember that? The syntax goes like this. For, okay, data type, variable, name, colon, you can have an array, or it can also be a, I'll take it as var name, it will be easy for me to write there, variable name, it's same, that's it, or it can be a collection also, a very simple thing now, collection. Now, what is collection you don't know, so don't bother. This is how the syntax is there. You can use the element. Can use the element, and again this is called as what? Body of for loop, or it's also called as, it's a statements. These are statements. Anything. So it's very simple one. See, you'll have either an array or a collection, and you want to visit. I showed you how to work with the for loop now in the array. You have to use for int I is equal to, I'll show you again. Okay, generally if you want to work with an, see, yesterday I showed you for loop. If you want to do iteration and all that, that is fine. But sometimes actually you'll be using for loop for what purpose? Generally for loop will be used for what? Visiting the elements of an array. So I'll show you the syntax. We will be writing it in a complicated way. So Java gave you a simpler approach for accessing the elements of an array. Instead of writing the code in that complicated way, you can write it in an easy way. Supposing you just see this. And anyway, I have not written the code, I will show you in the code itself. The explanation for would be like this. Supposing you are having an array. Supposingly there is an array like this. It is having values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and if I want to access these values, what will I do? I'll show you the syntax of this one also. See here, this is how you access the elements. I initialized there itself. You know how to write this array, no? You can declare and initialize the array there itself, no? Valid array, no? How to access that now? For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length I plus plus. And how do you access the elements now? Int, I'll take it as, x is equal to a of I, SOP x. You access the elements like this now. Valid now. So first you will get the element from the 0th index, next iteration you will get the element from the first index, next iteration you will get the element from the third index. So till the condition is satisfied, it goes on retrieving you all the elements from the array. This is how it works. The same you can write like this here in a very simplified format. For int x colon a, that's it. SOP x over. So you can see the syntax now. Data type int. Okay. Variable name is x. I can give any name. And array. I'm using which array? A. Instead of A, you can use a collection also. Collection you don't know, so don't worry. Either you can use a collection or an array. Any of it. And collection you don't know right now, don't bother, we'll be seeing it later. So here what happens, directly you'll get the element. Directly you'll get the element. And this enhanced for loop is especially useful when you are using an array or collection. Understood? For some other logic you need that support. I'm not saying no. For some other kind of logic you'll be needing that. But especially to visit the elements of elements, this enhanced for loop is a very brilliant support what you are getting now. Are you clear? How it works? So what happens here also the looping starts off. Okay. First what happens, it will retrieve the element from the 0th index. Automatically, implicitly it will be doing it. It will retrieve the values from the, see, it will retrieve the values from the array. That will be stored into which one? X. And it will, you can use it. This is the block now, for loop. You can go on using it. You can write any number of statements. Third is, the statements get executed. Fourth, again iteration continues. It only, so till the end of the array is met, it goes on retrieving the values and giving it to you. Till the end of the array. You don't have to worry. It will only iterate till the end of the array is met. It will only literally fetch all the, let it be 1000, let it be 10,000 values also. Don't bother. All the values will be retrieved for you. But the same headache you are having here, how? You have to write a dot length, then you have to use the index to fetch the value. So that's why they are giving you this enhanced for loop. Are you clear with this? Enhanced for loop. I show you a program for that. This is the enhanced for loop. Generally, enhanced for loop is used for visiting what? The elements of an array or collection. Are you clear with this? Shall I clear this and type and show it to you? Are you clear now? Is the syntax clear? So here no increment operator, no decrement operator. Notice, no test condition. What all is eliminated? No test condition, no initialization. No initialization, no test condition, no increment and decrement. Nothing is there. As compared to that, nothing is there. Here, directly you will get the element. There you are having no initialization, test condition, and then iteration. Here all that three is eliminated. Shall I clear this also now? It is also known as what? For each loop. It is called as enhanced for loop, or it is also called as for each loop. Both are correct. You want me to type and show or copy and paste? No problem, no? We'll finish it fast. So you can add it to the for loop only. Yesterday what you added? For loop demo dot java. Okay, see this. This is the traditional way how you visit the elements. This is the old for loop. Int I is equal to 0, I less than. I'll remove this one. I'll reduce the font size now. I think 11. I just want to fit it inside the screen. That's it. You're having an array. See there on the top. See, this is an array now, and this is how you actually see values in the array are. If I want to visit all the elements, how do you do? This is visiting. This is an example for what now? Visiting. See this code now. Int array is an array now, and I'm just going to print the values. Compiles, and okay, I have to remove the command line arguments. and execute. So it prints values in the array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the values it prints. Okay, so this is how you can print. Now see one more assignment now, like simple, in the same example, it's an example. I want to calculate the sum of all the values in the array. The scenario is I want to calculate the sum of, you might ask now, why do I want to visit all the elements? See, some scenarios will come like this. I want to add the sum of, interview question, add the sum of all the values in an array. So how will I do it? Comment this. So I have to get the value from the array now. This is how fetch. Then what will you do? Sum plus is equal to p. Finish now. So what will be the result? It will print now. Sum of all the values in the array is plus sum. So sum is one variable here. You know what is this operator now? I've shown you all this operators. So I'm using all the things what we have learned till now. Compiles, and the array, sum of all the values in the array is 15. Yeah? So this is how you traditionally write. The same can be written in a much better way here. How do you write it? How do you write it? I'll increase the font size. Might be it will not be visible. So just I'll increase it. Sum of all values in the, try to remove some. I think this will be fine. Sum of, I remove some print statements. So this is the code now. Okay, sum of, see, I will comment this also. Now see this. Here directly what will you do? Enhanced for loop. For. So first what will happen? The array will be taken. A will be taken. It's an array. It will retrieve the first value. It will store it into what? Directly into I. So only what you have to do now? Use I here. That's it. Understood? And remember, this data type, what you are using here, should be of the same type of your array type. What array you are having now? Int means it should be of type int. If it is double, it should be of type double. If it is a double array, don't use what? Int, char and all that. So when you are writing an enhanced for loop, remember the data type what you use. This one, the data type. See, this is data type, this is variable name, this is array. Okay, so what type of an array you are having, it should be of the same type. Understood? You just now wrote the syntax. Data type, variable name, array. So what type of your array it is? Same type of your variable should be in the enhanced for loop. Clear? So that's it. See, now the same operation we are doing it with the help of enhanced for loop. It is compiled and now it executes. It's calculating the sum. If you want, you can calculate the sum, or you can print the values one by one also. That's your wish. Values in the array are, they are print statements. You can cut it short if you want. Print all the values. Are you clear with the enhanced for loop? So it was added in Java 1.5.
How to visit the specific element?
You can't visit. His question is, how do I visit the specific element in enhanced for loop? Not possible. And it is only going to do read operation. Read. You cannot modify the elements in the array here. In this enhanced for, in this for loop, what you can do? You can change the value now. In every iteration, what will I do? See this. I can change the value here. So there are some differences. Okay, see here, instead of accessing the value, I can do this. What I'll do is, I can change the value like this. A of I is equal to A of I, means I'll increment all the values by 10. Yes or no? After increment, what will happen? After increment, all the elements in the array will be changed. So here it is modifiable, but in the enhanced for loop it is read only. And that means you can only retrieve the values, but you can't modify the values. Are you understanding what I am saying? See here, first time I'll iterate. After that again I'll print. Let's see the values. Sorry. Just focus on which one now? The traditional for loop you focus. I'll remove all this. Say this. First time when I print, it would have printed what? Do you want me to print that? You know that, no? First time when I print, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll modify it. After modifying, then I'll print the values. Say this. Okay, first time also I'll print. So first we are printing the values in the array. Then second time I am modifying it. Third, what I am doing? Printing it again. So now it is modifiable. See there. First it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I am printing it twice. Fine. Values in the array are, it is modified now. Okay, where I am printing twice? Okay, here again it is printing. This enhanced for loop. This loop also is getting printed. That's why. Clear this? Yeah. So that's how. So your enhanced for loop is only read only. You only access it and use it. You cannot modify. Here, how will you modify? The same way how will you modify here? You can't. Reason is what? You're only getting the value. If you modify it here also, nothing will happen in the array. Say I'll modify like this. If you want, I'll modify. I got I now. I is equal to I plus 10. Valid now? Code is correct now? See this here what's happening, after obtaining the value or modifying. So the value in the array remains unchanged. After obtaining the array or modifying, and the value in the array remains unchanged. We'll see this also. Second, I'll comment all this now. So in one loop I'll change the value, again I'll iterate and see, and it'll only print the value this time. Correct now? So here it is getting, I'll comment this also. So here it is getting what? Modified. But after obtaining the value or modifying, you are not actually modifying it in the array. So that's why what happens? See, still first time, okay, I didn't print first time. If you want, I print it for the first time. See, this is first print without modifying. This is second time it will modify. Third, but it's actually not modified in the array. After obtaining value or modifying. Third time also I will print. What will the values be? Same. Yeah, it is read only. Just it is generally used when you want to do more of read only operations. Clear this? So shall we complete for loop now? Move to the next one now. Jump statements. Clear? Okay. Put the next heading. Jump statements. Now why do you need jump statements? Why do you need jump statement? Why do you need jump statement? Jump statement is used to transfer the control to another part of the program. Jump statement is used to transfer the control to another part of the program or to exit loops. Understood? Jump statement is used to transfer the control to another part of the program or to exit the loops. You know loops, no? Okay, so to exit the loop. Okay, already you know how to exit the loop. Loops, okay, you got the support for exiting the loops. How do you exit the loop generally? How do you exit the loop generally now? See, how does a loop generally gets executed? First you'll have, whether it is for loop or while loop, whatever loop. Okay, so first it will check the condition and then it goes on executing, and again some iteration will happen, and then again condition will be checked. When condition fails, then only the loop terminates. This is how the loops have been designed. Okay, so the loop is guaranteed to execute until the condition fails, until the test condition fails. Till then it goes on executing. If you are not written a proper test condition, it becomes what? Infinite loop. If you don't write proper test conditions, it becomes infinite loop. So you have to write a proper test condition. Understood? So that's the normal execution. But sometimes we want to jump out of the loop. Now jumping out of the loop can be of two things. One, you might want to jump to the beginning of the loop, or you might want to jump to the end of the loop. Two things are there. You might want to jump to the beginning of the loop, or you might want to jump to the end of the loop. Java gives you support for both. And that support is given to you by which one now? Two keywords, break and continue. Two keywords are there, break and continue. We'll take the first one. Break, continue. Now we want to learn four keywords. In jump statements, for writing jump statements, Java is giving you four, which one now? For writing jump statements, Java is giving you four keywords. One is break, second one is continue, Third one is return. Third one is return. Fourth one is go to. So I'll be taking the first one. Are you clear with this? Okay, there are plenty of uses of break. Understood? Plenty of uses of break. Okay, and break is very, very important now. Let's see how the break works. Okay, first write. It helps to break some notes you write, then we'll see discuss all the points now. Okay, it helps to transfer the control to another part of the program. Break helps to transfer the control to another part of the program. We are seeing the first one. Break helps to transfer the control to another part of the program. Next point. Where and all it can be used? Break. Break can be used in switch, or it can be used in loops. Which loop? For, do while, any loop you can use. Break. And third thing, this is one more new introduction of break in Java. You can use it in labeled blocks. You can use it in labeled blocks. You can write it from here itself. So break can be used in switch statement, or in loops, or in labeled blocks. Three places you can use. Break used in switch statement. Break can be used in loops. And which are the three types of loops? For loop, while loop, and third one would be do while. Lastly, this one can be used in labeled blocks also. Switch, so it can use it in three places. Again in loop you can use it in these three locations. Are you following now? So this is how they have given you the support. Break statement is giving the support. One by one we'll see. We already covered which one? In switch we already covered. Okay, I'll be today going with loops, and also I'll be showing you with blocks. These two I'll show you. Clear? Okay. So you can write some points here. Shall I clear this what I have written? See, it helps to transfer control to another part of the program. Okay, it helps to transfer control to another part of the program. Then it can be used in switch statement, or in do while, or for loops, any of the loop. It can also be used in labeled blocks. It has three uses. What are the three uses? It helps in termination and switch statement. It is used to exit a loop or force immediate termination of a loop, bypassing the conditional expression and the other remaining code in the loop. Means sometimes what will happen, till the iteration completes, the loop will not exit. Means all the condition, till the test condition fails, it goes on executing. But sometimes I want to exit the loop based on some condition. Simply I don't want to execute. Okay, but based on some condition, we can use this break now. Okay, see, be clear with this. I'll just write on simple syntax here, then I'll explain you clearly. See, while you'll have one test condition here. You'll have one test condition, and definitely because of that test condition, your loop is going to terminate. It is going to terminate. There's no, it's 100% guaranteed, and you'll be having some increment here. Something like this you'll be having. This is a general execution. It goes on executing, and finally, when the test condition fails, it will execute. Now, why do you use break? Most of them think break is specially designed for what? Terminating the loops. Break is not used for specially terminating the loop. Loops are already getting terminated. Okay, but sometimes what happens, based on inside, when you're looping now, based on some condition, you want to break. You'll be looping. Based on some condition you want to break. Okay, so now immediately what will happen? The test condition also nothing, all the statements will be skipped, and directly control will move to the end of the loop. It will go to statement X outside the loop. This is why you will be using, let it be in for, I will be showing you, with for loop also I will show, with while also I will show, do while also I will show. But this is the basic idea of using what? Break. Understood? It puts a break to looping, man, that's it. It puts a break to looping and exits the loop. Understood? It will not continue till the end. So that is the reason. So that is the same statement what you are seeing here now. It is used to exit a loop or force immediate termination of a loop, bypassing the conditional expression and other remaining code in the loop. Same explanation I have written here. Yeah? So next, it can be used in labeled loops. That will be saying you can use it in labeled loops to exit the loop. Means what will happen is sometimes you will have multiple loops. Like in one for loop, inner for loop, inner for loop. Now to exit the loops, now it becomes very difficult. Now from the innermost loop you want to exit. So that is when you can go for labeled loops. All this will be seen with examples only, you'll understand it. It can be used as an alternate, means this is nothing but what? It's used as an alternate to go to keyword. Especially when you want to exit nested loops or blocks also. One more topic is there called as blocks. So in all these places you can use the break keyword. So I have completed which one? We already completed break with switch. I'll be going with break with loop. So I'll take all the loops. So while loop I'll take, do while I'll take, for loop I'll take, and nested for loops also I'll take, and I'll show you how to exit. Clear this? Okay. And we'll see this. First I'll show you the syntax. Are you clear with this now? So we're only going to see programs now. Okay. But remember, break will take the control to the end of the loop. Remember, break will take the control to end of the loop. It will exit the loop. That point you should remember. Continue will take it to what? Beginning of the loop. Break will take it to end of the loop. Continue will take it to beginning of the loop. That also you'll see with the example, then it will become clear to you. But just remember this point throughout this topic what we are discussing. Break will take it to end of the loop and continue will take it to the beginning of the loop. That's the major difference between both of them. But you want examples. That's it. Theoretically you understood, but you want example to prove that. Same thing I'm going to do now. Clear? Shall I clear all this? Now what I wrote here, same I'll write, see properly. The syntax I'll show you now of how to use the break. Syntax. One scenario, first scenario. While test condition. What I wrote there, same I'm writing. You'll be having some statements, then you'll have some condition. If condition, then you'll say break. Statement X. So here what happens, see, you have written a while loop. You have written a while loop. After writing the while loop, you'll be writing some code. Inside that while you are writing one condition. If some condition, break the loop. If some condition, break the loop. Okay. So as soon as you say break, as soon as this statement is encountered, what happens? Control immediately transfers to the end of the loop. Directly it will exit the loop. Control immediately exits the loop. When the statement is encountered, control is immediately exiting the loop. So here you can write exits the loop. Are you following now? It will exit the loop. Exits the loop. Clear this? I will take another scenario. Are you comfortable with this? Okay, testing now. It's not waiting for the test condition to fail. In this scenario, it's not waiting for the test condition to fail. As soon as the break statement is encountered, immediately it will exit the loop. Other case now. Second case. I'll see do while. Do. If condition so as soon as break is encountered here also, what happens? It exits the loop and it exits the loop and it continues execution after the loop. It exits and continues the execution after the loop. Fine. Here also exits the loop. It is exiting, remember that. Or it goes to the end of the loop. See, in simple words, simple English, we say end of the loop. We say end of the loop, beginning of the loop. Okay. But technically if you see, it is exiting the loop. Then third scenario, we'll see it in for loop. For. We'll be writing something here. This and all leave. So if some condition break here also what happens? Exits the loop. Are you following now? Everywhere it goes on exiting the loop. Last one would be I'll take one nested for loop. Nested for loop. For some condition, you'll be having some statement here. Another for loop you'll have. You'll be having some statements here. Then I'll say if condition, and I'll say break. So if you use break in nested for loops, what happens? It only exits which loop? Inner loop. It will not exit both the loop. It will exit only inner loop. Exits the inner loop. But Java is very powerful. It gives you more control. This is how the C language and all give support. Understood? But Java is giving you more flexible support. If you want. Generally this is how it works. I'm not saying no. Generally this is how it works. If you want, you can make even to exit the outer loop also. If you want, you can make in Java to quit what or exit what? Outer loop also. That is when we used labeled loops. Labeled loops. Generally this is how it works. Labeling means very simple. What you will do now? See here you can give a name. I'll give a name called as outer. Any name you can give. That is your wish. This is syntax. This is Java code what I'm writing. Valid it is. Outer colon. Any name you want you give. Hello also you give. Hi also you give. No issues. But we give it logically. Some good name you give. Outer. And if I say here inner. See generally break means it was breaking the inner loop. If I want I can say what? Break outer also. So what will happen? Both the loop will exit. If I use break outer, in this condition what happens? Exits both the loop. This is labeled. I'll be showing you with example only. This is called as labeled loops. Are you clear now? Optional. I'm not saying it should use what? A labeled loop. If you are interested, use labeled loop or leave it. Java gives you support for both. This is an alternate to go to. This is an alternate to go to keyword. So this is how they are giving the support for go to keyword. Okay. See again I am repeating. Generally you have nested for loops. In nested for loops what happens when you say break? Break will exit only the inner loop or inside loop. Okay. But I want to exit both the loops. Using one break I want to execute what? Both the loops. That is when what you can do? You can go for labeling. Give a name. For outer one you give a name. For inner one also you give a name. Which one you want to break? If the condition is happening now, for this condition which one you want to break? You decide. Generally break means it will break always inner. But if you want to break the outer also, give the name. And this name is not inner and outer. You can also say what? Hello, welcome. You can give such names also, but don't give it. So that time you'll say what? Break hello, break welcome. You can say like that. Okay, but why I wrote these odd names is because you'll think you have to use inner only, you have to use outer only. But you can give any name. They are actually identifiers. You know what are identifiers now? Any name. You can give any name to them. Understood? So this is how you can use the break statement now, and I have to show you with what? Example. That's it. So almost everything is followed from what? C itself here. Do you have any questions here? I show you the example, then you can clear all your doubts. Yeah? Shall I clear all this now? So we'll take the first one. While test condition, if some condition break, and it will go to exit. Then I show you for also. Then I show you do while. Then I show you for also. Then I show you nested for also. Then I show you with labeled. Yeah? Shall I remove all this now? Or if so you can create one more folder today called as 8 control statement. It depends now. Okay, 8 control statement you can create. In that 8 control statement you can create one more subfolder now. Which one? Break, continue and all that, and you can start coding. Yeah. So already I have copied and pasted the code. I'll just go on explaining the program for you. Otherwise we'll be wasting time. So what you do now, see in your folder, yesterday we had got 7 control statement, today also you can go with what? Control statement. Inside this you can create one more folder called as break. Break and continue. In break you can save all your examples related to break program. Clear? So here, see now, break while loop dot java for loop. Okay. First I'll go with for loop. See, this is a loop now. Okay, for loop I'll take, then we'll start saying while do while, or I'll take first while only because we wrote the while first. So very simple program. Okay, int I is equal to 100, while I is less than 100. Okay, I will print something. Okay, but here I am writing on condition. See this, everything is same. So what you have written earlier, the same thing comes out now. While what? This is what? Test condition. Yes or no? This is, I write it here itself. While is, see how you write the code is same. Initialization. This is initialization, and this is what? Test condition. And what is this? Some other condition. Just now what you wrote. And here break will exit the loop. It will exit the loop. Okay, and it will print what? Outside while loop. Done now. A very simple program. Clear? So how it works now? See, this is initialization, this is test condition. Now if I had not written break, what would have happened? It would have terminated, the loop would have got terminated. But until and unless this condition is true, it goes on executing. Only when the test condition fails, then only it will exit. But I want it to exit before this test condition fails. I want it to exit before the test condition fails. So I'll write some logic. If I is equal to 10, break. Now what will happen? Control moves from where to where now? Break will come to what? Outside the loop. This is loop now. This is while loop. This is the while loop. So it is coming where? Outside the loop. It will exit the loop. Clear this? So even though we are checking for 100 condition, it prints how many? Only 10. Are you comfortable with the code now? It will check for only 10. It will print only 10. So let's see this output now. See, or 9. I less than 10 I have set. Understood? Less than or equal to would have printed I is equal to, sorry. If I is equal to 10, break. I is equal to 10, if it is equal to 10, break. Are you clear with this? Okay. So then next we will see. The same you can try for do while. Do while what will happen? First execution will happen, and then condition will be checked. Same way you can check. Okay. I'll directly go with what now? For loop now. Same program, but with what? For. Almost all it fits the bill. See here, this is your for loop, and here condition. Here is exit the loop. Same thing, almost all. See this. Break means it will exit what? For loop. Yes or no? Otherwise it would have completed till what? 100 iterations. But now whenever it is equal to 10, it exits. Very simple. Illegal start of expression. Where is it? Okay, here I have to remove this. And I'll print end of. You can print some statement. Same program that was with which one? While this is with for. I'll show you some more meaningful example. This is basic. Clear? Same output. Clear? Fine. So this is how it gets executed. Fine. We'll see one more meaningful one. This one block break. Okay, see this. There's a program now. Okay, let's see how break will be used in some program now. Okay, why break is actually needed in a program, we'll see with an example now. See, if they ask you, I'll give you an array, find out whether there's an element in an array or not. Okay, so again, see, this is your array now, and I want to check whether there's a value called as 5 in this array. It is there, but let's see whether it is there or not, who knows. Okay, so what will happen, I'll have a boolean variable now, then I'll say, see, I'm using enhanced for loop. This is enhanced for loop. Are you following now? So it will get the value. See, I only want to do read operation. If at all you want to do read operation, you can go with what? Enhanced for loop. So I'll get the value. If x is equal to val, what will I do? I'll change the value of what? Boolean. It is actually false, I'll change it to true and I'll break the loop. That's it. And if found, what will I print? Value found. If found means if true, it will execute. Else it will not execute anything. You know how the if else works now? As simple as that. So this is how you can use to break the iterations. This is a simple example where you want to break, there's necessity to break what? The looping. You have to break the iteration of the looping. Understood now? So a program to search an element, whether there is an element in the array or not, particular element. Clear? So definitely it will be what now? True. Value found it prints. If you want, you can go with one more statement, else you write. Because you have to print, if it is not found, you have to print what? Not found now. Okay, now see, I'll give a value like 55. Is there an element called as 55 here? No. So it will not break. It will continue all the iterations. So value not found. Very simple. One more interview question. That's it. Clear this? So we'll see now labeled for loop. I'll label the for loop. Why we label now? Generally to exit or to continue, anything. Okay, generally we label it to either exit or to continue. Here I'm labeling the for loop to exit. Yeah, we'll see the next program. First I show you without labeling. See, here exits inner loop. See, there are two loops. For int I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, it will print this. First time it will print 0 and it continues here. So first this loop goes on executing. So it will print now. What it will print? J is equal to 0, J is less than 100, yes. It will go on executing. If J is equal to 10, break. So in the first iteration, what it prints? This will print 10. Then again it will exit and come to first loop. Here 3 is the condition. So 3 times it's going to print what? 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9. Yes or no? But when you say break, there are two loops. Which one is it exiting? The inner one or the outer one? Inner one. It's as simple as that. So this will, and loop is, both loops are completed. Are you clear with this program first? Simple program. You know, see, I is 0. Here for outer loop 3 iterations will happen. For inner loop how many iterations will happen? 9 times. But the inner loop will iterate 9 times for 3 times because it's there inside the inner loop. It's an inner loop, that's why it will iterate 3 times. So see the output. Perfect, it will print. See how it works. First int I is equal to 0 enters the loop and pass, it prints pass 0. After that what it prints? J is equal to 0, J less than 100, J plus plus. It goes on printing SOPJ space, it goes on printing till 9. Then what will happen? J is equal to 10, break. Somewhere it will break. Break means it's exiting this loop and again it will go to first loop. First loop is continuing, outside loop. So now J becomes 1 here. So pass 1 goes on. executing. Are you clear with this now? Same with the next one. So it goes on. Okay. But sometimes what happens, see, I can give a name to what? Both the loops. I'll give a name, see here now. Outer, you can give any name, but I'm giving it what? As outer. And use colon, not semicolon. Use colon. Out, that's the syntax. Outer and colon. Here, inner and colon. It's not that you have to name both the blocks. If you are interested, name both. Okay. Now, which one you want to break? Inner one or outer one? I want to break first inner. Same result. If I say break inner, what will happen? Same result. But this is a valid syntax in Java now. So Java is supporting goto in this format now. Understood? It is supporting goto in this format. Actually, goto is a very complicated keyword. If you have learned goto, you would have understood the problems of goto. Let us not discuss what are the different problems of goto. But instead of goto, alternate to goto, what they are giving you? Labeled loops. Understood? And you can break. See this. Break inner, here the output doesn't matter, it will be the same. Same result. But when I break outer, you can see very interesting result is there. Break outer, what will happen now? Only one iteration will happen. Yes or no? Clear this. That's it. So if you want, you can give outer, or you can name like this also. Just I'm telling you, otherwise you'll think I will write outer, inner, innermost. Nothing like that. They are identifiers. Any name you want, you can give. First, sec or second, anything you can give, no problem. So here what will I do? Break first. Same result. You can give any name. So this is called as labeled loops. Are you clear with this? Any questions? Okay. So this is how you can exit the loops. Understood? You can exit the loops using break. You can exit any loop. You can see a switch case you have seen already. That we have discussed yesterday. Break means it will go to outside the switch statement. If you use break in switch case, it will exit the switch statement. If you use break in do while, it will execute looping. Okay. Or while or for loop, it will execute the looping. It will complete the iteration. Immediately it terminates. It will not check for the conditional. Immediately it terminates. It will not check for the condition also. It will not check for what? It will not skip the execution of all the pending statements also. If any statements are there, all the statements also will be skipped, as well as the iteration also will be not performed. Directly it will exit the loop. Break means finished. Clear? Any questions here? Okay. No questions now? Okay. Now I'll show you labeled blocks. Are you aware of what's a block first? You know what's a block? Huh? I'll be talking about more of blocks later. See, supposing I'm having one main method. In main, generally you go on coding, no issues. But if you want, I can open one brace here. And this does not have any name here. Notice, it's not having any name. There's no identifier for this. So this is called as a block. These are blocks. Okay. Similarly, sometimes this is nothing. See, there's no name, nothing here. Sometimes you write a block like this also. If block, else block, that also valid. But sometimes you will not write anything. It's plain. Still it is called as a block. And in Java you can give name to blocks also. If you want, you can give name to blocks also. Valid it is. So like example, say I'll write some block. First block. This is first block now. Inside this I can go for what? Second block. You can write some statements here. Valid. Syntax I am writing. Syntax for blocks. This is syntax for blocks what we are seeing. Clear? Second block. Colon you have to use always. Then you can use, write some statement. You can write third also. Like this you can name the blocks. Earlier you are not writing this. That's it. Now you are writing. You can give name. Why you name now? Again to break. If you say break, what will happen somewhere? Now we say break. Second. Direct, see, execution was linear. After third it would have gone to what? After third it would have gone to these statements now. Statements in what? Second block. But when you say break here, where will the control shift now? It will go to after the second statement. After the second block. It will shift here now. It is not executing these statements, notice. Understood? It will not execute these statements. It continues to second block. Break second. Second will be broken now. And it will go enter the first block. Actually, it is actually in first block. Clear? Are you clear with this? We'll see it with an example only. You'll only understand. So labeled blocks. We don't use all this. See, I'm telling you very clearly, this and all will not use. But since it is there in the language, what is the support of the language? I'm teaching you all this. Don't go, means what is there in complete reference is more than sufficient. One program, two program here and there, learn it. That's more than sufficient. Okay. And gradually as you go on coding more things, it will become more and more clearer to you. What is actually used in programming, there will get very clear again. But this is the support what you are getting. And but see, practical, there are two things. One is the language. Second side is you have got the application programming. Language side we have to learn all this. But practically when it comes to implement things in an application, you are developing an application, these things are not used. Okay. Especially labeled and all will not be using. Then why am I covering? You know the problem, pamphlet. Other institute is teaching that, I am not teaching this. So we have to cover. Anyway, I am not spending more time on that, that's why. Okay, we'll finish it off fast. What is important there, we'll spend more time. Clear? See first, I think we saw this labeled block. I think I have not got an example for that labeled break demo break. I got it, but I don't know where I kept it. 1 second. Labeled break. Labeled what I'll give name? Block demo. Labeled block break demo. Give good names. Clear? I think it's the same program. Huh? Okay, anyway, check that out actually. It's there actually, I don't know where I have typed it. It is there in complete reference, you can check it out. Break, labeled break demo. Yeah, block break. Yeah, this is the one I want. Block break labeled block. I think it will be overwriting. Labeled block break demo. I can save it. Yes, I got 3 blocks here. First block, see generally earlier it was like this. You were coding like this. See, these are blocks. Just show you what are blocks. What do you mean by blocks? Are you clear with what is a block now here? See, this is one block. And see, this is one block now. It does not have any name. This is one block. I'll indent it properly. See, this is one block. This is another block. And this is another block. Clear? See, these are blocks. They don't have any name. But if you want, you can label them in Java like this. See again what name? One second. Yeah, the same program I've copied, but it should be named as labeled block break demo. Fine, done. So are you clear with this now? So here, and I've got a boolean variable, boolean b is equal to true. It is true. First, second, third is there. It goes on executing. If you want, you can put more loops here. Entering first block, you can put more this one here. Entering first block, entering second block, you can put more print statements. It will enter first block, it will enter second block, it will enter the third block. Okay, but if true break second, what will happen now? Exit second block will not happen. Directly control will move to first block. Okay, if you want to print, no problem. Entering, sorry, caps it is. Entering second block, and similarly you can write entering third block, then it will print before the break. See, it will print before break. This statement will execute. Understood? Then after that, if true, it is true, definitely break. End of third block will not print. End of third block, end of second block also will not print. Can you get now? End of second block also not. This will exit, means we are in first block now. End of this is first block. End of first block will execute, and the end of first block, and lastly system dot out dot println end of all blocks. Valid now? So are you clear with this? Very simple one. If you want, you can name. Why do you give name? Is it's the control what we get now. Go to same kind of control you're getting. Yeah? Are you clear with this? Okay. So are you clear with the break now? Shall we go with continue? Okay. Okay, write continue some notes. See, I'll read it out. See, continue is used to move the loop to the beginning of the loop. Continue is used to move to the beginning of the loop. It is used to skip the statements inside the loop and continue with the next iteration. Sometimes in iteration, you'll be iterating, but you don't want to execute some statements. Directly you want to go to what? In some iteration will be, see, it will be generally how the loop works is, every iteration it will complete all the executions in the block or in the loop. Okay, when it's iterating, in every iteration all the statements inside the loop will be executed. Okay, till the statements in the loop are completed execution, it will not come to iteration. But sometimes I want early iteration. Sometimes I want early iteration. Okay, before it goes to the end of the loop and then comes back, I want early iteration. That's when you can use continue. So let's see how it is used. See, it is used to skip statements inside the loop and continue with the next iteration. It can be used in do, while and for loops. Continue can be used in three, this one. One is, say, break was used in switch, loops and blocks. Break can be used in what? Switch, loop and blocks, labeled blocks. But continue can be used where? Only in loops and blocks, that is labeled blocks. Only two places you can use it. Labeled blocks or labeled loops also. Labeled blocks or loops, anything. Now loops continue can be used. Which are the different loops? What are different loops? Same, you know. One is for loop, other one would be while loop, another one would be do while. So you can use it in these three locations. Okay, see here, it can be the same thing. Now note, break is used to move the control to the end of the loop. That's the important point I told. Note, break is used to move the control to the end of the loop, but continue is used to move the control to the beginning of the loop. It will move to the beginning. We'll see the examples, you'll understand. Next, when continue is used, see here, now continue can be used in which one? For, while, do while. Understood? In the loop now, I'm coming to loop part. Okay, when continue is used in while loop or do while loop, then control is directly transferred to what? Test condition. This is very important. Continue, when you use continue there, it will move to what? Test condition. That controls the loop. Understood? I'll be showing you with code only. Syntax I'll write, then I'll explain to you. So when you use continue in the while or do while, then control is directly transferred to the test condition that controls the loop. Okay. Or when continue is used in for loop, it is transferred to iteration portion first. That's the difference. If you use it in while and do while, it will go to test condition. If you use it in for loop, it goes to iteration condition first, and then it will test the condition. So this is the major difference between using continue where in do while loop and while, do while and for loop. So are you clear with these 2 points now? This is very important now. I'll show you the syntax for these 2 now. Yeah, I show you the syntax for these 2 now. So let's see how to use continue in 3 cases now, 3 scenarios. The labeled one also I'll show you. So first one, let's see, first scenario would be what? For loop. So let's see, while only I'll take, sorry, while condition, test condition, sorry, while test condition. So here you'll have what? Some statements. If some condition, you'll say what? Continue now. What will continue do now? Takes it to test condition directly. Beginning of the loop. Understood? First, as soon as continue is encountered, it will be taken to test condition, beginning of the loop. Just below this to compare, I'll write what? Break. Just see. Same code. While test condition, you have already written it, but just compare it. If some condition, you'll say what? Break. If you say break, what will happen? It will exit the loop. Are you understanding the difference? Here it goes to, here I'll write, goes to beginning of loop. But in break it will go to end of the loop, or exit the loop, or we can say end of the loop. Are you getting the difference? Clear? So this is the difference between continue and break. This is break. Break already I explained to you. I just compared both of them. Understood? Okay, that's with while now. Next scenario we'll see with what? Do while. Do while in what? Continue. So I'll write do, then I'll write some statements, then I can write if condition continue. So here also early iteration. It will not complete all the execution in the statements. Okay, it will not complete all the execution in the loop. It will not complete all the execution while you have got the test condition here. See, you can read that point what I gave you. What is the point I gave you? See, continue will come to what? In do while, to the test condition. In while and do while, continue will bring the control to test condition. Understood? But in for loop, continue will take the control to iteration condition. Clear? Are you clear with this? Okay. So now this is the third scenario I'll take now. That is for loop. So for see, initialization will be there. Then you'll be having test condition. 1 second, I need space. Just start off from here. For test condition, here iteration. It can be increment or decrement, that is secondary now, iteration. So here also, what will happen now? So you'll write some code and then you'll say if something, if some condition, continue. Continue will take it to what? Huh? Iteration condition. After iteration, then test condition. First it will go to iteration, then test condition will be applied. Here what is happening? Directly it will go to test condition. Here also what will happen? It will go directly to test condition. But there first it will go to iteration, the same point what I wrote. You have written it. Clear? And that concept we understood now. Theory you saw, syntax you saw, we have to see one program. That's it. Clear? Shall I clear all this? Shall I clear all this? Similarly, you can use continue in what? Labeled blocks or labeled loops. Clear? A very simple program what you are using, then but continue is very rarely used. Break we use extensively. Continue is very rarely used in program. Okay, very rarely used. Break is used extensively. Practice more of break because you are always not under control. No. After engineering, what happens? There is no break only for you. Only accelerator will be there. So that's the reason they have given what? For applying brakes to you, they have given breaks, break statement. Clear? Continue, you know how to continue. Only break has to be put for you. Simply as joking. Okay, so let's see the program now. Here the program is something like this. That is a bit slow actually. Okay, you can see the code now. Int I is equal to 0. There is one loop what I put. I am using continue in the for loop now. Int I is equal to 0, I less than 0, I plus plus. I will print whatever the value of I is there, we will print now. It will print 0, 1, whatever it is, it will print. Then I will divide it by modulus of 2. We will divide it. If the remainder is 0, I will say continue. Else what will happen? It will print this. End of, I think end of for loop is should be written later. Yeah, it will continue means what will happen? If it is, yeah, So continue means it will go to the beginning of the loop. Otherwise what will happen? It will print this statement. End of for loop will be printed. Means it reaches the end of for loop. Just see this. See 0, 1 it prints. First it will print, see the output here. 0 divided by 2 is what? 0 no. So first it prints 0. And it will say continue. It will go back. So again what happens? 1 divided by 2. It prints, first it prints 0. Continue. Yeah, it will come there. 1 divided by 2, it will print 1. 1 divided by 2 is not equal to 0, no? It will be 0, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Just check it out. No, we are dividing, remember, here whole numbers. Oh, modulus, okay. We are not dividing, modulus. It's not equal to 0, end of. Yeah, just check this out. Continue means is something related to mathematics now. Your modulus is operator you are using. Just to check this out. Continue means it goes to that one. Else it continues, which one? Else it will be coming to?
Printing before if block.
Yeah, before if block we are printing. It prints 0. First it will print 0.
All the values are printed.
Then after that,
You print 1.
So keep that statement after you start.
I'll just check this out. Then it will check. Continue means what will happen? It will go again.
Put inside if loop, then
No, see, it's not printing end of for loop. For 0, it's not printing what? End of for loop is not getting printed. Then it iterates. Okay. Then again, what will happen? Means in 0, continue is getting executed. For 0, what's getting executed? You can see it very clearly. First, it prints 0. Then this condition executes. Continue means you can see this is not getting executed. So it will go to what? Again, for loop. It prints 1. And 1 divided by 2 is not equal to 0. So that's why it prints end of for loop. Then again iteration will happen. So once it will go with all the statements in the for loop, sometimes it will continue. See, there are 5 times. What will happen is once it will execute all the statements, one time it will go to the beginning of the loop. Understood, no? So here it was going for 1 it is going till the end of the loop. For 2 what happens? 2 divided by 2 modulus is not 0. So what will happen? If it is equal to 0, okay, you just check this out, man. Okay, so you can just check out this program. Just I have told you how the continue works. It will take you to the beginning of the loop. Clear this? Okay, next I show you labeled continue. Here it is, same thing. Let's see what is the output. Same thing, last program what you saw, but it prints like this. In C you are used to this kind of printing. More designs you want, you can put star gear and all that. So loop is complete. So for j is equal to 0, j less than 10. See, I is equal to 0, j 2 are this is also 10 iterations, this is also 10. But whenever we say j is greater than I, we say continue outer. When j is greater than I, we have to continue with outer. So it will move outside when. Continue outer means directly here. It will come to outer. Generally continue means what will happen? Inner loop would have got continued, no? If I say continue, inner one would have got continued. But I don't want inner one to continue, I want the outer one to continue. So control moves from, you just remove outer and see the output. If you say only continue, the inner one continues. Understood? So that's it. Same, how you saw for labeled loop for break, same way you can see for, you can do all that R&D. Just same program, see I'll remove this two. Anyway, I given a name for what? Only outer here. So this output will be different. No? Continue means it prints like this, something like this. Understood? So it prints something like this. But if you want, you can break what? Continue with outer. Just check out what is that output. You print like this. Clear?
Continue again, it will start from first side.
Here, no. It will go to iteration. I told you. Continue will go where? First time it is 1. First time I is 0. Continue immediately where it will go? Outside. But when it goes outside, here it will go to the which one? Iteration. I will become 1 first. Then condition will be checked. It will not go from the beginning. Understood? So as soon as you say continue, it will be going to iteration. There also in the previous program, when you say continue, it was going to what? Iteration. Then condition will be verified. See here also when you say continue, where is the control going? Iteration. Understood? I have written in the syntax very clearly. Continue will go to iteration. Then the condition will be verified. First is iteration, continue when you use. Then it will go to condition, test condition. Clear? It is in this program. This is how it works. In the other next program, labeled what happens? Continue, it will go to outside. But where it will go? First. Here iteration. From iteration it will go to condition next. Here it same thing. Listen this. In this program what will happen is continue outer means from here it will come directly to outer. First iteration. Then it will come to test condition. If I want, I could have given a name for inner also. That's my wish. Here I didn't feel the necessity, so I didn't give it. That's it. Done? This is optional, correct one. If you are interested, give the names. Are you clear with this? Okay. So this completes which one? Break and continue. Let's go with the next jump statement. Return. Yeah? More examples are there, you can refer. Write it fast. Don't know where to place this. See, for understanding return keyword, we have to do some more assignments. Then you'll understand the return keyword. Write the notes. I'll be explaining you. Don't worry. Just write it here. Return keyword terminates the execution in a method and returns the control to the caller method. Return keyword terminates the execution in a method and returns the control to the caller method. And it has got two uses. Okay, it immediately, first usage is it immediately terminates the execution of the callee method and returns the control from what? Callee to caller method. This is one usage. Second usage would be it is used to return a value from callee to caller. These are the two usages of return keyword. And this will take 1 day time now. Return is a very powerful keyword which will take nearly 1 day for you to understand. There's a lot of concepts are required for this. I'll start off anyway. So this is notes wise, theory wise, only this much of information is there. More is not there. More things you have to understand with what? Programs only. More things you have to understand with programs only. So this is what is return keyword. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So now for understanding return keyword, first we have to learn what? Writing methods now. First we have to learn writing methods. Once you understand writing methods, then you can understand return keyword. They are totally related. Okay. So first topic is return only, but little I'll deviate now. Topic is return only, little I'll deviate. I'll explain you how to write methods and all that. Then I'll come back to what? Return keyword. Understood? Little I'll deviate. And meanwhile you can write off this one. I'll explain that. We'll complete off control statements. Go to is a reserved keyword and is not supported in Java. It's not supported. Don't try to use it. Yeah? So I have to explain you only what now? In control statements, return keyword. Clear that now? Go to is also over now. I have to go with return keyword. So I'll deviate. Little I'll deviate and I'll come back and explain what is. It is related to return only. Understanding now? Deviating means it's finally my intention is to come back to return keyword only. But before that I have to teach you something and then come back here. Clear? Okay then. So we'll start seeing the programs. Return is go to is a reserved keyword and is not supported in Java. That's it. Yes. So first we'll understand what is a method. What is a method actually? Methods contain group of statements. Basically a method contains group of statements. We group them. See all the logic, see we want to write so many logics we'll be writing now. So many. Now all logic you cannot write it in one place. All logics you can't write it in one place because if you go on writing it in one place, there are many drawbacks. You can't maintain. Maintenance becomes difficult. and reusability will not be there. Same code you have to repeat again and again. So many drawbacks are there. So that's why what we do, we start splitting the code into, in C it is called as functions. In Java we call it as methods. That's all the difference. See, that's terminology now. In C language, earlier I don't know what they are calling it. It comes from long back. Other languages used to call it as procedure. Some languages call a function as what? Procedure. Some call it as function. Some call it as method. All mean same. It's their own language terminology. In C we call function, in C++ we call function, in Java we say method. Example, see, in procedure, in SQL we call it as what? PLSQL. In PLSQL we call it as procedure. Might be in Pascal also they are calling it procedure only, I think. I don't know, just I'm telling you. Okay, so here in PLSQL we call it as procedure. The same function is called as in C++ it's called as function. But in Java they are calling it as method. It's their terminology. Clear? But why do you write a function or a procedure or a method? Same reason, to reuse and to manage properly. Okay, because all the code if you start writing in one location, in everything you start coding in main. Now see, this is main now. Main is going to execute everything, no doubt. Doesn't mean that you start coding everything from top to bottom in only one place, no. What will happen now? Again, if I want to use that logic, some code I have written on the top, same code is needed in the bottom now. Now it becomes big difficult. Okay, so like example, I'll make you understand that. What is reusability? So slowly we are moving to reusability concept now. Example is, we might get some values, dynamically we'll get it, and I want to add the two numbers. I can go on writing the logic like this. Int A is equal to 10, int B is equal to 2, int C is equal to A plus B. So addition has been performed. No doubt. Okay. So then again I'll go on coding, suddenly the same requirement comes. I want to add two more numbers. So again what I have to write? Int X is equal to 1, int Y is equal to 2, int Z is equal to X plus Y. Same logic you'll go on writing again and again. Big headache it is. Instead of this, what we do, we'll write on function like this, add. You can give any name, int P. Don't worry, now I'm going to teach you why to write a method, how to write a method only. So I'll write int R, R is equal to P plus Q. Something like this you'll write. So what will happen now, instead of writing the logic again and again, next time what will you do is, simply you will say add of A and B, call the function. Addition will be performed. Understood? Here also, I will not write the logic. Simply I will say add of X and Y. Addition will be performed. That's it. This is why you write a function in C also. Why you write a function in C is to reuse, maintenance. That is for add. Similarly for multiplication, for division. Thousands of logic will be there, man. It is innumerable. So all the logics what we do, accordingly we organize. Now all logics if I write in add method, what will happen? It will be difficult to reuse also. If I write multiplication logic here, division logic here, what will happen? It will be difficult to use. So what we'll do? Some code here, some code in another function, some more code in another function. So whichever function you want, you'll start calling now. Or invoking we say technically. We give a name. That's why we give name to methods. So what logic you want to use, call. Automatically it will come and means it will be executed now. Clear this? So that is why in Java we call it as method. That's it. But methods are written for only one main purpose, to reuse. Till now all the code, all the programs what you have seen are doing what? We are writing the logic inside the same main method. We should not do it. Whatever logic we wrote till now, we wanted to write logic, we are writing, no doubt. But all the logic we are writing in main method only. That should not happen. Because later on you can't reuse. So slowly we start seeing now how to split into various methods. The same addition logic and all how to write now, we'll see it in Java. Clear? So I start showing you how to write a method now. Should I clear all this now? You know how to write a function in C. In every language are talking about the same concept. Write some group of statements in a method so that you can reuse. Write some methods in a group of statements so that they are telling the same thing. But the syntax will vary. Okay, the syntax will vary. Okay, in one language you will write the function in one way, in another language you will write the function in one way. It's a headache. So, but Java writing a function is very easy. Or method is very easy. Why? Same. What you learnt in C will pay off now. What syntax you use for writing a C function, same syntax is used for writing Java method. There is no difference. So one language will give one style of writing a function, but Java is using 100% C syntax for writing a method, and it's still more refined and better as compared to C. As compared to C, it's more powerful. Okay, but it uses the syntax is same of C. What is the function, means syntax of a method in Java? Simple. You'll have something called as, just write it, later on you'll be seeing one by one all these things. Syntax of a method would be, this is the syntax, you'll have return type, then you'll have some identifier, means name. You can have an identifier or a name, anything. Then you'll have brace, then you'll have something called as parameters. This is syntax, and then you have something called as body. This is the body. Body of what? The method. See, till now you learned so many things. If, else if, do while, so many things you learned. All those things will be written inside a method only. And if you are not observed, if you had carefully observed, you are writing all the logic in main method. Okay, but now we'll start writing more methods. That's all. So this will be the body of the method. So what are the 4 parts? One would be body of the method. Second one would be return type. Third one would be identifier. Fourth one would be parameters. 4 parts, remember. One by one I'll start teaching you. And it's a big subject. It's not as easy as you're thinking now. It's a big subject. The main reason where you have found difficulty in C programming is you tell pointers. But I'll tell you, the main problem what you faced is in writing a function. You don't know that. And I start showing you very clearly. You think actually writing function is very easy. What is there? One void, one int, one this thing, it will execute. You think like that. Don't worry. I mean, you have neglected there. That is the reason you are finding it very difficult there. But here, that's why I'll pitch more on how to write functions and methods. From here, we'll start off very clearly. Clear? So, are you clear with this? Shall I show you how to write a function? Again, before we write a function, one more concept we'll see. Very interesting concept. Very interesting. See this. Class demo PSVM int a is equal to 10, int p is equal to 15. I will give int a is equal to 20, b is equal to 15, int x is equal to 0, int y is equal to 0. Now start putting more effort now. All these days it was okay, but now you have to put a lot of effort in learning. Coding, effort means only code. Code. More you code, more you should make it as a passion now. Once you start making it as a passion, see how interesting the subject becomes. Code every day. So this is the thing now. So initially you might think, what is so great about this? The greatness starts after 1 or 2 classes. They are very simple programs. So work more on simple programs so that bigger programs become very easy for you. Else you'll struggle in later programs. Understood? Your basic problem is foundation. You are having a very weak foundation, and I am trying to give a very strong foundation. Once your foundation is ready, you can code any program to any size. See the problems here. SOP A, SOP B, SOP X, SOP Y. What is so great about this? Yes or no? It will print what? 10, 15, 0, 0. Without compiling, you'll start telling the output. Yes or no? What is so great about this program? Yes or no? Let's see. So now see this. Now there are more things to be observed here that you are not observing. Actually, this is scope. I'll be introducing you a word called as scope. And scope is a very vast subject again. Okay. Every day I'll talk about scope. Every day. It's not that one day, it's not one class I'll finish it off. Every day I'll be talking about scope. So from here to here, this is called as one scope, main scope. Whatever you're writing it inside the main method. You have to close one more. Which one is that? Class. 2 braces are there. But this is a scope now. So whatever variables you are declared inside this are all available within this scope now. Okay. Sometimes it so happens that you want to give the value of one variable to another variable. Sometimes you want to give the value of one variable to another variable, which is in local scope. You want to give the value of one variable to another variable which is in the same scope or local scope. So how do you give the value? Now tell, how do you give the value of one variable to another variable which is in a local scope? Huh?
Declare one new variable.
I want to give the value of one variable to another. Means, are you following the question or not? So question is slightly twisted, but end of the day it's very simple. I'll use an assignment operator. Yes or no? I'll just use the assignment operator. I want to give the value of a to x. Very simple. Same, I'll give the value of y, b to y also. Valid. Actually, what has happened? If you see technically in the memory, first a was there. So it is having how many bytes? 32 bytes. Sorry, 32 bits because it's int. 4 bytes. I can't write all the 32 bits. I'll write only the last 8 bits. So a is there. Then you're having what? B is there. Okay. So first you're declaring a and b. Now how to write 20, 15 in binary, you understand it. So this is B. Same way you'll have here also. 32 bits will be there. I'm writing only the 8 bits. So some value will be there. X also is there. It is also having 32 bits. But all the values in X are what? 0 now. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll find out what is the binary value. One program. 32. Sorry, 20 now. 20 how it is written? 1010. 101. Correct? Huh? So he is telling I am writing. Otherwise you calculate. How is 15 written now? Huh? 15. 4 1. Sure. So 1 1 1 1. This is a value. Rest all are 0. So this is A value. This is B value. This is X value. Y also is there. And all the values are what? 0 here. So we learned all the basics now. Data type, operators, everything you have learned. Yes? So the requirement is very simple. I want to give the value of one variable to another variable which is in the same scope. That's the next. This is the question now. So to give the value of one variable to another variable, first what is the rule? Data type, size, range, all should be same now. So they should be within the scope. They should be within the range, size, all that is there. So if everything is compatible, compiler will compile because Java is strictly type check language. It will not allow you the errors to happen at runtime. So if this is int, then it will compile. If it was char and int, it will not compile. Byte and int, all that you know problems now. So it will compile. So the advantage Java developer gets is most of the problems are getting detected during compilation time. Understood? So now once you do this, again if you print SOP A B X Y, you know what is the answer? What is the answer? So see now what has happened when you assign the value. The value of A is copied into what? X. Agreed? Huh? It overwrites. So what will be the value now? 0 0 1 0 1. It is copied. Size, range, type, everything correct. It will copy. 32 bits of that will be copied into 32 bits of X. It will overwrite the value. Similarly, the value of B is written to what? Y. And the value becomes 1 1 1 1. It overwrites. Done. And if you print SOP A B X Y, what is the value now? 10 15 10 15. Sorry, 20. Okay, sorry. 20 15 20 15. Whatever the value is there in A is given to X. Whatever the value is there in Y, it is given to B, it is given to Y. Very simple. Hardly any difference. But it assigns the value. The value is assigned. Once assigned, now see, very interesting. What I'll do is, I'll try to modify. I'll modify X. X into, I'll do X divided by. X divided by is equal to 2. Y into is equal to 2. This has happened. Now modifying what? Only X and Y. I'm not modifying what? A. So after you modify, it will modify there itself. You know this operator now? I taught you all these operators. So one will divide by 2, other it will be operating on itself. Otherwise I could have written the code in what way? X is equal to x into 2. Instead of writing in a complicated manner, I wrote it in shortcut. Y is equal to y into 2. But if I write it like that, what will happen? First right hand side has to execute. See, the same code can be written in this way. X is equal to x plus 2, y is equal to y divided by 2. But here what happens? First right hand side should execute, then the value should be assigned. Time consuming. So for better performance, language has given you these operators. Understood? Language has given you these operators. So everything will happen here. Same result. And now if I print SOP A, B, X, Y, what will be the result? So see, 10. So SOP A will be what? 20, B will be 15, X will be 10, 30. Understood? So X has got, how is written 10 written in binary? 1010. So see, earlier the value of X was what? 20, but later on it becomes what? 1010. It changes. Same way Y also will be modified, whatever the value. So here it is 10 now. Sorry, A is having what? 20, X is was having 20, but now changes to 10. After that, X divided by is equal to 2. B is having what? 15. It remains 15 itself. Y was earlier having 15, but now it is changed to 30. So whatever modification you do for X and Y is not getting affected to A and B. Yes or no? What is so great about this? We'll see the greatness. Understood? But this is where programming starts off actually. Understood? This is where the programming actually starts. Okay, so let's see the scenario in a totally different way. You know, like I'm giving value here, I'm incrementing, I'm printing, you'll say, you will visualize like that. But you have to see it in a different way now. See the program in a different way. There are 4 variables. Okay, all are local. A is having a value, B is having a value. X and Y are not having values. Scenario is, I want to give the values of these 2 variables to another variables, but in the same scope. So to give the values in the same scope, I have to use assignment operator. This is an assignment operator. So once the value is assigned, now what does the assignment operator do? It assigns the value from the right side operand to left side operand. After that, so you can see it will print the values. Now if I modify later on X and Y, it is definitely not going to affect A and B. That's a different copy, this is a different copy. Do you have any questions here? Concept is what? Assigning value from one variable to another variable in the same scope. This is the concept. Are you clear with all this? Shall I clear this example? We'll see another example now. Same story will happen. But okay, let me see this. This is one program. Class demo now. Public static void main. String args. Same scenario will take. Int A is equal to, see this is SOP begin main. Int A is equal to 20, int B is equal to 15, and SOP A I will print means value of A. You can print some good statements. Value of B is you print. Okay. Then what I'll do is, see A and B are here. I want to send these values to another scope. I want to send the values to another scope. So this is one scope. So the scope would be a method now. I'm going to write a method. Okay, see this. Void fun. I'm showing you how to write a method now. I'm going with very simple basics. And here I'm having int x, int y. I'll clear this otherwise. You're writing a method. So these 2 methods, till now your class demo was having 1 method, but now your class demo will have 2 methods. One is main, the other one would be fun. Any name you can give. So now see A and B are here. I want to give the values from this scope to this scope. So here I can't write x is equal to A. This is invalid. Scope. The value in one scope can be used in only one scope. You cannot use it outside the scope. This is not possible. I just want the value, whatever is the value in A, I want it in X now. So what should I do? have to send the value now. So I'll be using something called as arguments. So let's see now. See, you have written the method. Here I can modify x into is equal. First I'll print SOPX, SOPY. Understood? I can print. Now see, how will I send the value? I'll just call the method fun. I'm calling it. This is the name. You are invoking the method, and I'll send A and B. So now, right now, A and B are called as arguments. There's a huge difference between arguments and parameters. I'm introducing you full new terminology now. Okay. So till now we are talking something different. Now we have started saying something different. So A and B are called as what? Arguments. So what you pass are called as arguments, and parameters are going to do what now? You know the syntax of the method? Return type, name, parameter. So you have written the parameter. So these arguments will be sent to the parameters. So the value of A is given to X, the value of B is given to Y. There's more to method. Just go with the basics today, get the output and come. Tomorrow I'll be going more deeper into this. So now, if you want to assign the value from one scope to another scope, we send the arguments. And finally it is doing the same thing what an assignment operator does. Value of A is given to X, value of B is given to Y. It's as good as writing X is equal to A, Y is equal to B only. Same statement. It assigns the value. But in college days you have learnt it in a different way. How you learnt? A will go give the value to X and come back. A will go give the value to X and come back. B will go give the value to Y and come back. Whether it will go, come back, that and all, I don't know now. It's very simple. What is it now? It is assigning the value. That's it. And there are two different copies. A is a different copy, B is a different copy. Now you print SOP XY, what it will print? 20 and 15 only you print. Okay. So now yes, you modify x into is equal to 2, y divided by is equal to 2, and then you print. What will happen? It will print the modified values. So here it will print 20 and 15. After modifying it will print 10 and 30. You are modifying it now. X into y divided by. You are modifying what? The value of x and y. Understood? You are modifying. What is the value of x and y now? Whatever A is, x is 20. So 20, sorry. One second. X divided by 2, y into is equal to 2. X divided by 2 is how much? 10. Y into 2 is how much? 30. So after modification, x will print 10, y will print 30. The same result what you saw here. Okay, fine. Here again you print SOPAB. What will be the result? So here it will print 20 and 15 only, but here it was printing 10 and 30. So whatever you modify here, it's not affected there. Understood? The same effect. There are two different copies, but you have to study more in methods. So here program will start. So now A and B, when I pass, the same thing. A, B, AX, this is B, this is Y, same thing. Same thing, but there are two different copies. But the important thing is here, if you want to send the value from one scope to another scope, that is especially in a method. Now why did you write a method? To reuse logic. So always method contain what? Logic. Remember this. Methods always contain logic, nothing it will contain. But how can a logic be executed without values now? How can a logic be executed without values? You have to send the values. Logic you will write. You are very good in writing logic, no problem with that. But you have to supply values to it. So that is what we are doing. We are learning how to supply values from one method to another method. Send it. So the values will come here. Now your logic gets executed. This logic will execute. Provided you are sending a value now. So learn to send values. Writing logic anybody can write. So once you send the values, this logic will execute. Not only 15, 20, you change the value and send. That time it will execute differently. You change some other value and send. So like this it goes on executing. So always methods contain logic, but the logic cannot execute without values. So arguments are always used to supply values to the method. Arguments are always used for supplying values to the method. Parameters otherwise. So parameter will accept the value and now you can use it for processing. What logic you write, that is your wish. What logic you write here is your wish. Okay, you can write any logic here. I am just multiplying by 2 and dividing by 2. That is your wish. You can use it for any kind of logic. Addition means you can perform addition. Multiplication means you can perform addition. Anything. Understood? But the basic idea is, if you want, how do you send values from one scope to another scope. And here also, see, when you come back here, I cannot access the value. Try to print your SOP XY. Error, out of scope. Now this does not know about anything about X and Y. Now this scope does not know anything about end. So main does not know anything about X and Y. Now the question will come, I want X value in main, I want Y value in main. That we'll see tomorrow, how to use it. So practice this basic example, that's where the return keyword comes. Okay, return keyword will come into picture now. If you want to give the value, see, it's like this. This is called as the caller method. And this is called as the callee method. So if you want to send values from caller to callee, we use arguments. If you want to give value from callee to caller, we use return type. Understood? So this subject I'll take tomorrow, okay, which will be more overloading for you now. Just execute this simple program and come. Tomorrow we'll see fully all that now. So that's when the return keyword introduction will come now. Understood? Return keyword introduction will start off. Understood? So I have to reach to return only, but before going to return, all these basics you should know. Clear? Very simple now. What did I do? Just, if you want to change the logic, instead of fun you can name it as what? Add. And you can do what here? Int z is equal to x plus y. And you can print SOP, sum of both numbers is what? You can print plus z. Finished. Similarly, you can write one more method, multiplication. Similarly, you can write what? One more method, division. But in your writing logic, you'll use all the basics. Identifiers, operators, if else you might use, control statements you might use. All the basics what you learn now will come into picture. Clear? So Java is following 100% C syntax. Only we have to learn what now? Oops. Very shortly we'll start. By next Monday we'll be starting oops only. But get these basics right. What is our method, argument, all that you should be clear now. Clear? Any questions? This I'll continue tomorrow. So one is local scope I have done, other one is different scope. That's why I emphasized, don't take this as a simple example, don't take this as, I emphasized and taught you this. Understood? Yeah.
What are the difference between a block and scope, sir? Block and scope.
Block and scope difference. Big subject. Scope requires 5 months. Not 5 minutes. Block is very simple. Block also requires 1 month. So difference between block and scope can be understood only after 1 month and nearly 5 months. Big scope, big question it is. Okay, and this subject is very big not only in Java, in all languages. I have started it, and you are putting end to it, full stop. Understood? So you'll be seeing this very clear. I have started it. Yeah? Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.